Welcome to Lunch with the Good Rep Boys. My name is Cody. I am joined by Jordan. How are you doing today, Jordan?
I'm doing pretty good, Cody. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm honestly, I'll be real. I'm a little bit overwhelmed this week. It has been an absolute, how do I say it? Like, honker of a week. It's been a busy one. There's a lot going on. I feel like last week was a very almost like lackadaisical week. Like we had a lot of energy going into the week, but not a lot was going on. And now
Yeah,
this week is a lot is going on, but I'm feeling a little bit lower energy.
I
You know
feel
what I
that.
mean?
I feel that absolutely.
All right. Let's get some links out. Let's get some of this invitations going.
Send them right
But
on over.
yeah, this week we thought we'd play it a little bit close to the chest. We'd play it a little bit off the rip. The Nerdcast. We've talked about nerdy stuff. We've talked about how we are nerds. I play Magic. I play fucking video games. I play Dungeons and Dragons. I think Jordan, you do all three of those things too.
Yeah, yeah.
You
I think my slider is like a little bit heavier into the video games and lessons into
yeah,
like some of like the D and Magic that maybe you're into.
yeah.
I take away from it. If you only have so many units to work with, more of my units are going towards video games, I think, than yours are.
So I oh my goodness. You know what we should have done? We should have tier listed. We should be sitting here making a tier
We can
list of
still
all
do
the
it. We
nerdy
can do that
activities
right
of like
now if we
Warhammer
want to.
40K.
Do you
You
want
know
me to do
what?
that? Do you want me to like just there's pre-made
Look,
tier lists.
we're gonna make that a video. We're gonna make that a
We'll
video.
make that a whole thing.
Let's actually just write that down. I'm sure we got Sam in the chat here. Sam, if you can write that idea down, keep a note for us. If not, uh we'll get this clipped later and that'll be a great idea. But yeah, honestly, I'm here for that. Like we can put all the different like nerdy related things into a
Yeah,
tier list and we'll be like, okay, what have you done with, because you don't do board games. There are nerdy
not
things
a
that you don't
crazy amount.
participate in.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say like I like board games, but I don't actively play them very often.
Yeah. What is that mainly because you don't have a group to play board games, or is that
Pretty
like
much
you've done it and
that
it's not like a
that
big
and
thing
it's
for you?
like it's similar to Magic, where it's like it's
Mm,
something that I know how to do and I like doing it, and like it's not bad, but like it's something that I get worn out on pretty quickly.
that's fair. I feel like and I'll be honest, like I am definitely the board game Magic the Gathering. Like let's play card games, let's get together at the kitchen table type thing. It's definitely how I grew up, and I do think it stems from like how we grew up. Because would you say you were a gamer when you were a teen? Like
Oh
that's what
yeah,
got you into it, and so you
yeah,
stuck with video games since then?
absolutely.
How'd you get into it? Like what was your first introduction to like being a nerd, quote unquote?
Um, I remember there's like two moments I remember as like a very small child of like video games that really like
Hmm.
roped me in, that I was like, man, I really want to play that. And I remember wanting to play it really bad. I don't even remember one of the games. I don't remember what it was, but I remember being at like my cousin's house and like they were like playing games and like I didn't get a chance to play. And then my like mom was like, we got to go. And like I had like a full on conniption. Like I was I was like in a state because like I was like I just want to play this game, and I like that sticks with me as like that moment of being like I really think this video game is cool. I want to try and play it, and like I was so young at the time. And then another time that was very similar, like I had like an N64 and like or like my brother did, like we just kind of had one at the house, and some like neighbor friends came over and brought over like the old Spider-Man game for the N64. And I remember like we played it for a bit, and then they were all like, "Hey, let's go outside and let's play some games and stuff." And I was like, "I'm gonna sit right here and keep playing this game." like,
You're like, wait, this is new. This
yeah,
is everything I ever wanted.
yeah. Those were like two memories that I have of like at least as far as like the video game side of things, like really, like being like moments of me being like prioritizing like video games. Like this is something I really want to like make a hobby and something I want to be doing right now.
Yeah. And see, when I first got introduced to video games, I came into it with a mindset of like I only had what I had available, which was a Game Boy. So I got introduced to video games while I was at my babysitter's in like second or third grade, sharing Game Boy games. And I remember playing Mario, like Super Mario 2 specifically. I remember playing Super Mario 2, and it was glorious. I loved it. Super Mario 2 and 3. And then I eventually got my own Game Boy. And so I got Pokemon on that. And that sold me. Pokemon was like, oh,
I do
I loved it.
remember. I do remember getting a Game Boy Color for Christmas at like a family Christmas party, and
Mhm.
like getting like the little like plug-in light with like the little curly light that
Oh
you could like down
yeah.
onto it and everything. And I remember my brother got like Pokemon Gold or Pokemon Silver. I got Pokemon Gold. Like I think we had a Game Boy like that we shared that had like the older ones and everything, but that was like the first time I had one for myself.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of kids have that memory because I 100% one of my core memories, and I think this is interesting because I don't have a lot of my memories from like being a small child, being a kid,
Hmm.
but one of my core memories is coming home from school one day and my mom had bought me a brand new Game Boy SP. And this was when they were
Mine was
like
too. That's what
a
mine was
year
too.
old or something like that. So they were still new, like new to you as a kid, but they were a
Yeah.
little bit aged, and I came home and it was just on my bed. She didn't say she was going to get it for me. It wasn't my birthday, it wasn't Christmas. And it's one of those moments where you're like, your mom had a little bit of extra money and was like,
Yeah.
my kids wanted this. I'm going to get it. Let's do the thing. Maybe she even
Yeah.
saved
That's
up for
cool.
it. And so I have that like memory of that Game Boy SP, and that was my companion for years. I'd
Yeah.
ride my bike over to my best friend's house. That was in my pocket. We'd sit next to each other playing Pokemon for summers.
I like one of my worst memories is like a time when I was in college. I was down pretty bad money wise. I had to pay rent and stuff, and so I sold both my Game Boy
Mm,
SP and like Pokemon Gold for like $100. And like
yeah.
looking back on it, I kicked myself so hard over that.
Well, and I mean, we all end up in those situations where we have to, downsize or get rid of some of the things that we have along with us.
Yeah.
Like, I've definitely had to get rid of some of my collector things. Like, I played Magic the Gathering for years. I started playing way back in like 2010, 2009, something like that.
Mhm.
And I had a nice enough collection, but I did when I brought that to college with me, and then I ended up selling it off because I once I finished college, I moved out to Seattle. I downsized all of my stuff. If I still had that collection would be worth quite a bit of money,
Yeah.
but also like I would have that collection to kind of fall back on. And so I noticed with some of our friends, they have a little bit older collections. One of our good friends, Eric, he has an older collection of Magic cards, and I'm like, I'm so jealous because he's like, I can build decks and I can play with these cards, and I'm like, I wish I had my collection that I could go back and look at and enjoy. But I
Yeah.
also get to build up a new collection, which is fun in itself.
Yeah. I think about Eric's collection of cards. Like I've been getting this like advertisement for this like Patreon for like this mill deck like thing. It's like this big contraption that like you put like all your cards into, and it will like auto price them. Like it'll go through, scan them, give you the price on like a little
Oh,
LCD screen, and then it will sort them into like you could sort them by colors, by like CMC, by like whatever
oh,
you
that's
want to
super
like sort
cool.
them by. And yeah, you just like press a button and it runs through. It does them all, sorts them all for you. You like slide out the box, move them, put it in the new box, and like let it do its thing. It seemed pretty cool, but like I looked at the Patreon, and it was like $300.
I mean, I'm not really surprised that something
Yeah,
like that would be super expensive, but like
yeah,
also, I feel like some of the fun of collecting Magic the Gathering cards is having that collection and going through it like hand by hand. Like it
not
is
really.
like the annoying aspect, I feel, but it is also fun, like being able to go through those collections. I watch a lot of like picker videos where
Yeah,
people will go to like a farmer's market or an estate sale or something and be like, let me buy this collection and go through it and see what might be worth something.
yeah.
Obviously, they have those like LCD screens, whatever, that can make it a lot quicker, but I almost feel like that takes the human element out of it.
I mean, it does like, and not everybody values that side of it as much. Like,
Yeah.
I know you know your individual cards way better than I do, whereas like I would be going through and just looking for like big ticket ones. You know,
Yeah.
like this, I'd be looking for ones that like would go into like commander decks and stuff like that, like your big ticket things like that. Um,
Hmm.
like I don't know that like I wouldn't get as excited over a card that I don't know what it is. Like I'd never heard of it
Yeah,
before.
you don't have a history with it. You don't have a
Yeah,
knowledge of it.
yeah, and I'm not gonna sit here and like every single card of my like 1,000 cards I have in a box in there. You know, I'm not gonna go through every one of them and search them all up.
Yeah. And I mean, there is a lot of that knowledge where if once you play enough Magic, if you get involved enough in the hobby, you have that like baseline knowledge of what's worth something, what could be worth something, what things in general might be worth, especially when you start looking at commons and uncommons, because a lot of those cards are, pennies, but
Yeah,
some of them are like, oh, this card's $1. And if you have a stack of 60 of them, maybe that's worth something. Obviously, you're not going to be parting out dollar cards for,
right.
big profit margins or anything like that. But I mean, little value, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And
But I think,
like but then there's also like if you're not even just looking at the value, if you're like, hey, I just like all my cards are together and I need all like my blacks over here, my reds over here, like you want to go through and like separate out
color sort everything.
yeah, your mana type and everything, that comes in handy too. I mean, that is one thing that I have done manually by hand, is
Hmm.
like take this stack of cards that big and be like green, red, blue, red, just sit there and like do
Yeah.
that. But
Which, tell me that's not a little bit satisfying to do,
to
right?
an extent, but like
But
also,
when you do it with 1,000 cards, it might be a
yeah,
lot.
yeah, yeah, it gets to be a lot pretty fast.
But I will say that's one of the things where I want to get some boxes so I can separate out my cards by color as I build out my collection. But that comes with time, and you slowly fill in those boxes, and maybe you do it by sets, which is something I've also been interested in doing. Like maybe I'll get like one big box and do a set per box.
Yeah,
But I mean, that's just getting kind of into the nitty gritty of like, okay, I'm going to collect trading cards. How do I want to sort those? How do I want to go through those? I
yeah.
think for me, because when did you get into Magic? What introduced you
I
to
got into
card games in
Magic.
general?
I want to say around like 2013. Shadows over Innistrad, not the original Innistrad set, the
Okay.
Shadows over Innistrad set.
Yeah.
That's about when I was getting into it.
Okay. And you got into it, friend introduced
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
college?
I had a friend. They they were a decently wealthy friend. Um,
I think you
they,
need
they
to be.
they had family in oil, and um, and that's not
They
even a
had
joke.
family and oil. That
Yeah,
you need family and oil if you want to be a real Magic the Gathering fan.
yeah, and like they kept asking me like, hey, come play Magic with me, play it with me and like some of my friends and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't really want to get into Magic. It's expensive, and like I don't want to play with other people's cards. I'd rather play with my own cards. And
Hmm.
like then she was just like her friends were all out of town and she had nobody to play Magic with. And eventually she's like, okay, fine, meet me at the store. And like we went to the store and she bought me like $400 worth of Magic.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like she got me like two, like like the gift boxes. Like
Hmm.
she got me two gift boxes. She got me like three pre-con like they were standard at the time, standard format decks. And then she
Some
got me
like
like a
pre-made deck
ton of
stuff.
she got me like the skinnier boxes. I forget what those ones are called. The ones that come with like the dice and like I got them
I
like
th-
all in my closet, but I just don't
oh,
have
you
time
still
to.
got them?
Oh yeah,
That's kind
oh
of
yeah,
sick, honestly. I mean, still having them's kind of sick. I think those are like gift boxes or like gift bundles or something like that.
something
So
like
that's
that.
one of the things when I was playing, they didn't have all these fancy new card collections. And I want to digress here and get to Sarah because Sarah's made some great
I've
comments.
seen I've seen that too.
One,
I just don't want to interrupt.
yeah, but I want to one hit on Warhammer. I want to talk about Warhammer because I've gotten into it a little bit. I would love to play Warhammer. It's a lot. Um,
It's
but
more expensive than Magic.
yeah, oh my goodness. Warhammer is expensive. Warhammer is a lot. And the thing is with Warhammer, like you paint your minis, so it's the time, energy, and effort that goes into it more than Magic the Gathering because you're
Yeah,
not usually painting your Magic the Gathering cards. You're not
yeah,
creating your own
yeah.
army.
You're what, sleeving them? That's
Yeah, you
that's the
control your
closest
sleeves and your
equivalent.
boxes,
Yeah,
which I mean, hey, those can be expensive. But I think like the price of Warhammer comes with how much time it does take to paint an army.
Yes.
Like you can get your individual like boxes of minis for 40, 50 to $100. Mind you, you need like 10 of those boxes in order to make a legal army to use. So it's like $1,000 entry fee
Yeah.
for almost anything in
So
Warhammer 40K.
crazy.
But the
It's
thing that
so
sucks
crazy.
is, and it doesn't suck because this is part of the hobby, just like sorting magic cards, but you have to paint all those minis. You have to cut them all out. You have to despur them. You have to primer them, and then you have to paint them. And
Yeah.
technically, I don't think you have to paint to play them, but
No, you don't have to. Like, I mean, you in theory could play Warhammer if you're playing with your friends. Like, with like you could use dice or like Monopoly pieces if you really wanted to. You know,
yeah, that might be a little bit difficult because the visual cues on the
it's
minis
pretty
is
big.
like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. You might have to have a key there with it. That's like, okay, the thumbnail is the tank. I don't know my
yeah.
Warhammer minis very well.
Well, I don't know them very well either, but I do know because I was gonna look into it for a little while. I bought paints because I was interested in painting. I
Yeah,
learned some techniques and I went through some like testing and stuff like that. But when you buy like a
I
box of Warhammer 40K minis, they come with multiple weapons and multiple people. So like you have one mini and you're like, this is a soldier. You can either give that soldier a pistol, a machine gun, or a sniper rifle, and that changes actively what that troop does in combat if you use it in your army. And so like if you buy that mini, you change out its weapon, or you get one weapon that you painted in. That's what that weapon has. That's what that stat character has. And so there's you can make these so unique. You can swap
yeah.
out weapons and armor on so many different minis. And it's a whole part of Warhammer 40K of like I bought this box and I bought this box so that I could take this weapon and put it on these soldiers
Yeah.
because these soldiers have better stats, but these weapons are better. And technically, oh my goodness, man. It's like
Oh,
they talk about adult
and
Legos.
like every one of those things that you just said, like I bought this to do this. It's like, yeah, and that was $80, and then this
Oh
was
yeah, yeah, yeah.
$70.
All of those
And it's
things
like,
that I just you bought $80. You're
yeah,
it's eighty
it's like
dollars, eighty
it's
dollars,
like
eighty
eighty
dollars.
dollars. Like I opened up my friend's like pack. He bought like an $80 pack, and I was like, what? Like I took it out, and it was like, it's like this much just of like a plastic,
Hmm.
like breakaway plastic pieces, and it's like
Yeah,
this cost them 30 cents to make.
yeah.
Like
Well,
this,
and it's
there's
the
profit margins to be had there for whoever makes those. I don't know who makes
they're 100% are. And the main thing with Warhammer 40K is the minis are made very well. The when you're making things that small, being able to print in the detail that they have is, I mean, intense. They've had
Yeah,
to spend a lot on that equipment in order to get it going. Blah 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 blah. But yeah, their profit margin at this point is insane. They just need to keep up interest in the hobby and make sure that there are places around that will play it.
my
And the cool thing is, in our city, in Grand Rapids, we actually have dedicated like Warhammer 40K like places to go play, like
yeah.
dedicated. This is the Warhammer 40K Den of Mischief or whatever.
hmm
I don't know what the
Um,
places are called.
it was funny. My friend came over one time, like over on top of my AC over there. I just got unpainted two like D&D minis.
Mhm.
Which like my friend who was just getting into Warhammer at the time had come over and looked at them and he's like, these are like the cheapest things I've ever seen. Like, and like, 'cause I don't know if you've ever like looked at like the D&D minis that you get that are
Oh,
just like one piece already made plastic. Like he just
yep.
like laughed at it. I'm like, yeah, dude, this thing cost me like $4.
Yeah.
Like it
Well,
cost
and
me
that's
literally like less than 1% of like what yours was, or like less
yeah.
than 5%.
And I will say, the people who get in these type of hobbies, there's an immense overlap with 3D printing.
Yeah,
Because what you do is you get good at CAD and you create your own minis and then you 3D print them. Or, which is a very interesting side hustle idea if you are already good at CAD, design minis, create a Patreon and put them all behind a Patreon paywall, get people interested in your minis and be like, "Hey, come pay me
there,
$5 a month and I come
I
up with a new mini every month."
I know
That's
someone who like they paint people's minis for them. Like they
yeah,
have
that
like a
too.
little job where they're like, yeah, hey, if you got minis that you don't want to paint, like hire me and I'll paint them for you. Which goes back to what Sarah was saying in the comments a little earlier about how she doesn't really want to get into 40K, but she does want to have someone who's like, hey, let me paint your minis, and you can make a little bit of money doing that. It's just you do have to be able to deliver. Like you gotta you gotta know
it is actively going out and doing the thing.
Yeah.
You have to paint the minis and you have to have some skill.
And because these plastic pieces already cost so much money, it's like you better do it good, because that's an $80 little piece of plastic that you're painting right now.
Yeah.
I also want to, in response to her really quick, she said they're beginner box or starter boxes, like that they're not new. Yeah, she bought those for me like over 10 years ago at this point. Probably about 12 years ago, she had bought me those starter boxes.
Yeah. I'd be curious what they are, because I know when I was playing Magic originally, I did not pay attention to individual packs. I got almost everything from buying like individual cards or winning packs at events. Like I had individual packs that were purchased for me.
Like this. I don't know what I got in it. I've got a bunch of cards in it right now, but
yeah. See, those are like ETB boxes, which are ETB Elite Trainer boxes from Pokemon, a little bit different.
And then
are we doing a collection show off? I almost wish that I had like prepped some of my like cool things to show off.
This isn't like
also the fact that you're doing all of this with sunglasses on.
The like the big gift box. This is like what I got. Pretty much all.
Oh, geez.
My cards in.
Yeah, that's the type of box that I want for storage. Honestly,
I got an extra one. Do you need one?
Maybe I'll take one.
Give me 2 seconds.
See, this is what the pod's for. Being able to collect on some random things that people happen to have. Because yeah, I will take that to collect some stuff.
This one right here,
I know the people on the pod can't necessarily see it right now, so let me turn my webcam. But I have a little bit of a nerd shelf over there, and some Pokemon ETBs, some Magic stuff.
I have 2 of these. Cool. And this is my favorite one, the Zendikar one.
Zendikar Rising.
So this one's dope. I like it because
you're like, wait, gotta fix that.
I like it because it's got like the slidable sleeve on it. That's like the same thing, but still kind of.
Is that? Maybe it's just because I'm seeing the Eldrazi on it, but it makes me immediately think of the like Modern Horizons 2 or 3. Yeah, there was an Eldrazi box that came out.
And this is where I got like a lot of my extra sleeves and everything in there. I think that first box I showed you was actually one that I was given not that long ago. So those cards weren't actually my cards, and I haven't. Well, they are now, but I haven't gone through them or anything. Then I got another one of these. This is where I keep. These are all my. Like these are my what I call standard. Like
when you call standard, which means a 60 card deck.
Yeah, 60 card format deck. Which has to be some name for that format.
Well, yeah, it depends on the format that you're playing. So for anyone who doesn't know, I played Magic pretty competitively way back when I was playing. I went to like PTQs, I did the Star City game circuits and stuff like that. I had a team, I was sponsored by a store. So like I got really deep into Magic the Gathering way back then. And so the decks are honestly, if they're old, they might be legacy, they might be modern. I don't know what all of the formats are because they've come out with things like Pioneer and other things like that since then. But I feel like there are a lot of people who have just, those boxes of Magic cards that have been around for years and years like that.
But yeah, will gladly. These are some of my proxy cutouts.
Gotta have the proxy cutouts.
Yeah, dude, look at it. Look at this. You know what this is? The demonic tutor.
No,
it's clean.
Oh, I've actually watched someone open one of those. I watched some open videos, and those demonic tutors are actually super sick. The like Japanese foil version from, I want to say it's the Kamigawa set. I don't know enough about them.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I missed a lot of different sets while I was out for all of those years.
But
There's
yeah,
been some really cool ones though.
yeah. But if you want one of those boxes, I'll move some of the stuff from like one of these Innistrad ones over to like one of those ones, and I'll give you one of the boxes. I mean, it's a little banged up, but it's all yours.
Yeah, we can talk about that after. I'm down.
Show for
But
show.
with
So
that said,
yeah,
go ahead.
I mean, I was still gonna keep it a little bit with Magic, and I was just gonna ask you a little bit about about like what you
What
got
I'm
going on with Magic and kind of like the channel
yeah.
that you're looking to do.
Yeah. So I'm trying to do a little side project, make a YouTube channel dedicated to Magic, just because it's a little bit like so. We are here creating these live streams. We're here live streaming ourselves. This is a brand new experience for both of us. I don't think either of us have spent time getting in front of cameras. And so a lot of what this whole series has been us getting out of our comfort zone and kind of experiencing something new. And I think Sarah, this is a good one. What exactly is the topic today other than Magic the Gathering?
There
Magic the
isn't
Gathering
one.
is the main topic. Um we wanted to give us a little bit of freedom to just kind of riff on some of the nerdy things that we've touched on in a lot of our live streams. We spent a lot of time, energy, and effort talking about small businesses, how we can help you out, and it's definitely something we can do. It's one of our major passions is actually being able to work with our clients and help them succeed. Uh, Another one of our drop the link if you want to talk to me, you want a small business right here. But on the other end of it, we're also humans, and part of being human is engaging in other aspects of life other than just work. And to that end, we're both very big nerds. Outside of good rep, outside of work, we get together and we disc golf and we play Dungeons and Dragons and we talk about Warhammer 40K and just some of the interesting things that are going on in life. And I just think that's a really great situation for us to be in. But to circle it back, you've not been an influencer before. You've not like made a YouTube video before this, right?
I've made YouTube videos, but to call myself an influencer would be very generous.
I
I influence 7 of my closest friends.
with your YouTube. You've
Yeah.
never so I maybe I should clarify and be like you've never made videos for random people with the goal of building an audience, right?
It was, but it was very half-assed, you know, like, oh, hey, look at one of the people, one of those friends just
One
jumped
of
in there
your
in the comments. Um,
yeah.
yeah, no, I did a lot of like PlayStation 4 videos, playing video games with my friends, with like this hope that maybe someday people would, you know, see it and like maybe it would
Yeah.
take off, but like the quality was never there. It wasn't ever
Yeah.
something that I really ever would have taken off doing, but it is still I'm still very happy I did it because like it's almost like a little video bank of like past memories
Yeah.
that I can go back and watch. And every now and then I do with some of my friends, and it's a really good time.
Yeah. And I feel like that's a really like common scenario more than anything else. Like we introed this, I created this whole channel just to get myself out there, just to start doing this a little bit more, recognize what works and what doesn't work on my speaking, work on my like bearing and how I talk, trying to be more enunciating and like how I present myself, ideate more content topics. And I think it's a really interesting way to kind of build your skill, build your repertoire, and be a little bit more authentic. Like you said, that acts is a video diary of sorts. Like you made those videos for you and your friends. Maybe you went in with the idea maybe they'll go viral, maybe other people will watch them.
They
But at
should
the
have.
end
They're
of the
great.
day, it's kind of a challenge that you made for yourself, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you so would you go back and put in more effort now? Is that something that you want to do or have considered
So
doing where you're like, "Hey,
so
let's do
yeah.
this."
Yeah, kind of. My friend's Christian, the one here in the comment, actually is one of the ones who has kind of been campaigning for me to kind of start trying to go live with. I do so, you know, I play a lot of World of Warcraft.
Mhm.
I've been getting into like a niche corner of the of the game a little bit. I've been getting into like the gold making side of things. Like there's a lot of like farming. There's like certain areas that people don't know about. You go there and you do these things. Everything that I would have for my content though is essentially just regurgitated from someone else that I've learned on the internet somewhere else. But like on that same note, like I want to kind of approach it from like they do it where it's like get 4 of your closest friends and go do this farm. And I want to be like, well, these are the farms that you can do if you don't have those 4 closest friends.
Yeah.
Like if you're just playing it by yourself, go do it. And and like I'm trying to, before I start doing that, I want to like establish like a bunch of different things. Like I'm like making like little spreadsheets and stuff like that where it's like, hey, if you like what you're seeing, like come join my Discord where you'll get like access to these spreadsheets and stuff like that. Like I'm trying to create the value before I promote the value. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. See, and on my end, I think my biggest problem with following through on these types of ideas is that I tend to overthink and I try to overplan, and it prevents me from ever starting. So my whole like process with these YouTube videos is I want to get something out there and I'm going to improve every single time. And I think I approach these lives with the same mindset where we're like, hey, we're going to go live every single week. We're going to be consistent. We're going to do it and we're going to try to improve.
Yeah.
And what are those improvements? Sometimes it's working on our tech. Sometimes it's working on how we hold ourselves. Sometimes it's working on our framing, our scripting, how we plan before each show, how we close down the shows. There's always something that we can improve on. And so I think more than anything else, my biggest problem is not getting an idea starting. Yeah, over planning is a killer for me. Yeah, I agree, Christian. It's just not a great place to be in because you want to do so much. And you're like, wait. So if I make a YouTube channel, I should also have an Instagram with the same name. I should have a TikTok with the same name. I should cross post everything. I should make sure I have a Facebook page dedicated to it. I want to make sure I have the links all ready to go. Wait, should I also have a link tree? You said Discord. Discord's a really great idea. I want to have somewhere where I can have people go and I can hit them with notifications. And you get into this overthinking mindset. And then maybe it's not even necessarily overthinking. It's you're thinking about the problem, what you want to do, and you're coming up with all of these different solves. But when you're in that mindset, you're not getting something done. You're not shooting a video to put on the YouTube so that people can watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's my problem. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Like it's certainly one of those things. Like I say this about a lot of different things too in everyday life, where it's like once you get that ball rolling, it
Mhm.
really it's hard. It almost becomes hard to stop. You get yourself
Yeah.
in a consistent pattern where like all of a sudden now, if you're not doing it, it feels like you're doing something wrong, where like you're missing something if you're not putting up a regularly posted video, or like
Mhm.
covering the things that maybe you had said in an earlier video you would, things like that. That's one thing that I've always noticed. Like I'll catch like streamers or something being like, yeah, we got this video that we're gonna put out next week, and then it's like, well, now I'm sitting here waiting for that video, and it's like if that doesn't come out, then I'm going to judge that a little bit harder. And so
Yeah.
staying consistent, like it's one of those things that you think about once you get the ball rolling. It just kind of comes naturally.
Yeah. And I love the term. Have you ever heard of the KISS principle?
Yes.
The
Yeah.
keep it simple, stupid.
Yes.
Yeah. KISS principle, keep it in your head. KISS, KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Don't try to overcomplicate. It's better to get out there and do the thing. And I really appreciate, Christian, that you like that mindset. And I think it's something I've been working at myself a lot because I mean, hell, man, half the reason we even got this podcast out there, we've had the opportunity to do all of this is because we were like, we're just gonna do it. We're gonna figure it out. We're just gonna go live. Ooh, wait. Pause. Smart.
Smart.
SMART. What's that one?
Chris, you want to break down smart in the comments for us really quick?
Yeah, I was gonna say he's gonna comment it, but I'm gonna think about it. SMRT.
Start making your own acronym.
Stay my arteries. Silly me.
Stay
Silly me
moving and
artists.
stay moving and real.
And retweet. Stay moving and repeat. Retweet.
Subscribe. 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 Retweet. I don't know what the MA are yet.
Subliminal messages are really terrible.
I love it. Nailed it.
Specific, measurable. Ooh, okay,
I feel
wait.
like I do actually know. Like, I feel like I remember sitting in a class and like them being like, "Make sure you write your goals. These goals have to be SMART goals." And they're like, "These are what they are." Chris, is this straight out of like Miss Etheridge's class right now? Chris went to high school with me. I'm pretty sure we learned this from Miss Etheridge's
He's quoting
class.
11th grade English teachers right now. But I'm here for that. 100% specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, timely. And that's 100% a good goal to have.
Yeah,
Like you approach that the mindset, be specific with what you want to do. I want to get a YouTube video posted every single day. Measurable. Post the
video
YouTube
like
visible.
every day.
Achievable.
Yeah, like,
is it doable? Yeah, that's realistic. It's achievable. I can make a video and I can post it every day. Timely. Make sure it's done before midnight. And have I I'll be real. So my whole goal with this mindset was that I want to make sure that I post a video for the entire month of August. And if I do, I will allow myself to upgrade my computer. So I'll have a better setup for
nice.
recording the videos and I can upgrade my system a little bit.
Nice.
And so that is literally a smart goal. I didn't know it at the time, but I'm here for that. Honestly, Christian, I really appreciate the knowledge here.
I make very little SMART goals all the time with my weight loss, where it's like, okay, if
Yeah.
I've lost this much weight by the end of the week, I'm gonna go get an ice cream.
As long as it's in your window.
As long as it's in my window. Yeah.
Which,
or if it's on a Saturday.
Or if it's on is Saturday your cheat day?
Away in, like, so it's Saturdays and Sundays on the weigh-in weeks, which are every other weekend. So it's pretty much every other Saturday and Sunday. But then I still try to keep it within the window, like, but like I'm more open to breaking it. It's mostly like my justification day where I'm like, I'll be all right.
Yeah, which I mean, I feel like that's part of being human. There's definitely keep the discipline, and you've kept the discipline really well, giving yourself some freedom to be like, okay, let me do this thing, which I think that's another thing to touch on here. If we're talking about goals, we're being smart here. We're talking about therapy. I'm here for it. Coming into this month, I also wanted to stop eating fast food as much. Fast food is one of my biggest weaknesses. I'll be real. I love fast food. When I was growing up, some of my core memories are not being able to get McDonald's after daycare. So like now when I can get McDonald's, I'm gonna go get McDonald's.
Yeah.
But I've cut back on it, and I've only had it once this month so far. Being able to reward myself and be like, hey, I'm not gonna not enjoy this thing that I enjoy, which is just gonna make me miserable. But holding it back so it's only sometimes makes it a little bit more special, a little bit better for me.
For sure. Sorry, I was just getting distracted by things in the background there.
But see, yeah, and I worry about that sometimes too. Like I have like my dirty clothes bin. I have like my little spot where I sit when I eat lunch to like support my back because I have a bad back at 31 years old.
I feel that. So do I.
Do you stretch? Do you do like yoga and stuff like that?
I don't do like yoga, but I so ever since I started using like this Fench app, one of the things that I've added to my daily dues is like stretch for 5 minutes. And so I'll sit there and stretch. I'll like when I'm up north, like I'll go out to the end of the dock and just like stand out like out over the lake and stretch and stuff like that. You know, I always try to do it like with like a nice view while I do it. I'll do it on Fridays at my Friday gig. I'll walk down the hall to like the big glass window that looks out over like the road and stuff, which isn't the greatest view, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be flat out. So I went backpacking, not this past weekend before, but I remember specifically Sunday morning, I woke up a little bit early. It was like 6 a.m. with the sun, and I like went outside and there was nothing. Like I'm sitting there stretching Manistee National Forest, looking over the sand dunes into Lake Michigan. Nothing beats that. I'm gonna be real. Like it is absolutely phenomenal. And I mean, I'll be real. Like they talk about yoga, you need that energy work, blah, 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 blah. It's when you're out there in nature and you're like stretching and all that, you feel so connected. It very much is. I'm not the most spiritual person out there, but I felt rejuvenated. I've never felt more rejuvenated than after that morning.
Absolutely. Sarah says that she's got the stretch app in her or the stretch goal in her Fench app as well, but she seems to neglect it. It's literally the easiest one to do. next to get out of bed. The reason that I always do it is because it's one of the easiest goals to get done. And on those days where I'm like, I haven't done anything yet, it's like I can go stretch really quick and
Well, and it's I feel like the being able to cross it off is awesome, but it's you gotta like work in the habit of it. Like, do you have a specific time where you stretch every single day? Is it like before or after anything? You just do it randomly whenever you decide or think about it?
I will. So if I'm going to like actually work out, I'll always do like a stretch before a workout. But if I'm just like I just got to do my daily stretches, no, it's just like whenever I think about it. Maybe like if I'm like feeling tight anywhere, like I'll specifically go and do it then. But like if it's just like no, I just got to do it today. I haven't done it yet today, then I'll do it whenever.
See, interesting. For me, like I definitely need to build a habit of it. If it's not something where I'm doing it at a not even set time, but like a set period, I won't get it done. So like for me, I I plan to do my stretching whenever the day starts dying down and I go out and I like eat dinner, I finish eating and I put on whatever I'm going to put on for like my hour before I go to bed. That's when I'm stretching. I take that hour, some point in there after I'm like done eating, I'm kind of settled. I go and I stretch for about 30 minutes while I watch an episode of something. Recently it's been King of the Hill. But yeah, if I don't set that time away and I'm just like, oh, I need to stretch today, I won't do it. Mind you, I do have like the carpal tunnel stretches that I do throughout the day periodically, but that's because I'm using my hands, and that's that's a little bit different.
You just got to get yourself an accountability buddy app. You got to get yourself Finch or Havletica or something like that.
Is Finch the one where the finch dies if you don't do the thing?
Mine hasn't. I hope not. God, I hope not.
I was gonna if you don't do things, they like eventually like waste away and die or something.
I don't think he's gonna die. It's like the most positive app I've ever had. Like, yeah,
well,
like
maybe I'm thinking of a different one. Maybe I'm thinking of like Neopets or something like that, where if you don't do something, they'll die on you.
Tamagotchi.
No, Tamagotchi was definitely a thing like that.
I'm so
no, your Finch won't die.
The Finch app doesn't have like a mobile app, and I was really hoping it was. I was hoping that I was gonna have like my Finch on my watch, like a little Tamagotchi, pretty much. Like, little.
Wait, Finch has a mobile app. It does, yeah.
It is a mobile app, but it doesn't have like a watch. Like it doesn't like
go
to your watch. It'll give me like my updates and stuff to it, but I can't like be like, oh, I want to go for a walk, or oh, I've done this today or done that today. It's just like hey, this has happened.
Yeah, it's not like the little Finch that you've created can like swim along your watch or whatever, or come with you and talk to you like a little. I wouldn't be surprised if that's something they do eventually, turn it into a Tamagotchi.
Yeah,
like
I put it in the reviews. I went. Did you? I need a watch app for this so that I can.
That's funny.
Tamagotchi. I think I said specifically in the review like I want it to be like my little Tamagotchi.
See, and I feel like there was that big push for a while about wearables. And I know Apple has the watch, but there've been like talks of like the glasses and all of those types of things as well. And I'm curious if those are going to blow up.
I don't know. I know Chris's brother actually just ordered. He's going to Japan here for like a military exercise here at the end of the month. And like for his trip, I don't know why he was like, yeah, I wanted to get these for it. He ordered these like AR glasses that they're not like any brand ones I've ever seen before. They're like pretty thick and a little gaudy, but like I don't know. I assume that they're pretty cool. I played games with them the other day, but I didn't ask him about those glasses, like what all they did and stuff. But I do know that there's like a lot of brands that are starting to really dive into that visual alternative reality world, or augmented reality.
Well, yeah, what is it? AR, augmented reality, or altered reality or whatever?
Yeah, where like it takes like your actual surroundings and like does things with it, where it's like you can like look at a table and then all of a sudden the board game appears on that table. Versus like virtual reality where it's like, oh, there's a virtual table in front of me.
Yeah. And you have with the augmented reality is what they're hoping to use for like there was that very big video for car repairs and stuff like
Yes.
that.
Yep.
So people have like the augmented reality and they can have web pages open in just the air next to them as they're working on a vehicle, and they can like have a video playing and like turn, and
Yeah.
it's like their entire world
My
is kind of a screen around them.
my favorite thing is watching videos people do with like Apple Vision Pros, where
Hmm.
they will go somewhere and like they'll have like a gambling app open where they're like playing blackjack, and like someone will be like, all right, here's your change, here's 750. He's like, all right, 750, and then like he'll bet it and he'll be like, hey, we just won, and like the people are just like, what's going on? It's like any money he gets, he just turns and like gambles it on the spot, and these people have no idea like what he sees, and they
Oh
don't
my
see that he
god.
just turns and puts it on like a blackjack table.
That's kind of crazy. I've not seen any videos like that. I've not watched augmented reality stuff. It's honestly, so like
these,
this is where the
these are ones that come
intersections
through on my
of
shorts
different
a lot.
nerdisms come
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, I'm not going out of my way to be like, show me Apple Vision Pro videos, but like it's a lot. Like I do a lot of doom scrolling and a lot of like those videos. That's the type of content that I'll see is like someone doing that. Just I get a lot of degenerate gambling videos.
Well, so I'll be real. I'm not a gambler. Have you gambled much?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm not a gambler, but I've been getting and seeing so many like sports betting, FanDuel ads.
that's what
They're
gets me.
everywhere. And I working in marketing, working in, the industry we do, the reason they're running all of these ads is because the customers that they get who sign up for these ads, they make enough money on to run all of these ads.
Yeah,
So like you understand that everyone who is on these apps is losing money
yeah,
repeatedly.
yeah.
I just
I'm in the
I
green.
don't
It tells me
what?
it tells me my total. I'm in the green. I'm
Ooh.
about $400 in the green. You're breaking up. I don't see you. You're frozen. Listen, Cody's frozen for me, and I don't know if he's frozen for everybody else, but I know I just sat here and made it sound like I'm justifying gambling because I've made money. I go into it knowing I'm going to lose money. Cody, you were frozen for a minute there, so I just kept talking.
Sorry about that. Yeah, no, you're
um,
good. I'm back now.
so yes, I am in the green, but I also realize that it is gambling and that I'm lucky to be there. The reason I do sports betting and not like casino betting is because like there's two reasons. One, like at least there's like I have something I'm basing it off of. It's still likely I'm gonna lose my money, but at least like I know my football players. Oh, Cody's gone. So I'm just gonna say it. Like I know like my football players. I know how they're going to do or how they should in theory do. And so I try to base my bets around that. I don't do anything overly outlandish for the most part. Um, but like at the end of the day, like it's still gambling. You're still likely to lose money, and I don't necessarily condone it. The second reason is more of like my main reason for why I like to do it, and that is it just makes the games a little bit more interesting. Like I typically don't go and bet $100 a week or anything like that. I like to take like $15 and I'll do like $5 on like a normal bet that I'll do, and then I'll take like the remaining 10 and I will do like 10 $1 bets on like what's called a
Yeah.
parlay, where it's like, okay, now I take three bets and I put them together, and that then amplify like all three of those have to hit, but now there's like a multiplier that makes it so that those three bets, if they all hit, I get an even bigger payout now. And so I will take like $1 and I'll do like a 12 leg parlay of like things that I know should in theory happen, like Derrick Henry running for 40 yards. It's like, yeah, he averages 100 a game. I'm
Mhm.
gonna put that on, and I'm gonna put like a couple other ones on, and then like maybe that $1 will turn into $40. I've had a $1 bet turn into $90 before, like just because.
Yeah.
And then like I said, it's not even really about that money. It's more about like, oh, now I'm watching the Lions game because I love the Lions, but now I have a reason to go watch the Ravens game because I'm
See,
waiting to see if Derrick Henry hits that 40 yards or not.
yeah, and I think that part of it is something that I find a little bit more palatable.
Yeah.
And honestly, people can spend their money however they want. I'm not going to ever police people who spend their money in whatever. Like, that's not
Yeah.
how this works.
Yeah.
But
But
personally,
Pokemon
it is
cards are a
gambling.
gamble too.
You are going to lose money.
Pokemon cards are a gamble too.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Pokemon cards, Magic. If you're opening packs of something that have a chance at getting something else, if you're playing gacha on a phone game, dude,
Mhm.
you open loot boxes in League of Legends, on Fortnite, like you play in any of those servers on Minecraft or Roblox, that pay to win servers or anything like that. Everything is coming for your wallet at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And if you're gambling $1 or $2 in sports betting, $15 a week, whatever, it doesn't necessarily matter as long as you can afford it.
Yeah.
I think the issue I have with the gambling and the sports betting and all of that is that it is extremely predatory.
Yeah.
Their whole systems. We've talked about being in Vegas. Have you been in Vegas? Have you spent time in Vegas?
I've been through the airport in Vegas.
Ooh, so you've seen a little bit, but once you
Yeah.
get out into like Vegas itself, it is crazy. There's a lot of really cool things to see in Vegas. There's also a lot of really, really depressing things that happen in Vegas. Every single bathroom in Vegas, when you go in, has a big old "Get help for gambling" sign on the back of the door, as well as on the side. Every single one. You go anywhere in Vegas, you can find homeless people sitting on the sidewalks out there. And it's not the same type of homeless people that you would see in Michigan,
Yeah.
where it's a different type of homeless people. And that's awful. It's awful to see. But you also will see, people fighting in hotels. You will see spouses going at each other's throats. I watched like a woman come in, find a man at a slot machine and try to drag him away and be like, "What are you doing? We're losing the house. You get out of here." And it's extremely depressing
Yeah.
because he like shoved her away and is like, "I don't want to go. I want to sit here and gamble." So there's that really, really bad part of it. And
So
that's with everything, not just gambling. There are
whenever
a lot
I
of things that have those
gamble,
issues.
I assume I've lost before
Mhm.
before the bet is even over. It is
Yeah.
like my gambling is like I'm doing this just for the fun of doing it, and like at the
Mhm.
end of the day, like I go to the casino, I take $100 to the casino. I'm like, okay, I'm spending $100 for a night at the casino, basically.
Yeah.
And if I
And
leave with
that's a
more,
good
that's
mindset to
fun.
have.
Yeah, and if I leave with more, that's fun. But really, it's more like someone could go to the bar and spend $100 on alcohol without blinking an eye. But if I go to the casino and spend it because I'm
Exactly.
gambling it, like that, you're not gonna. There's no chance of you getting it back with alcohol.
Yeah.
Like
Well, and it's 100%. I am right there with you. And I'll be real. So this year I have quit alcohol. I'm leaning off of drinking like sodas and doing fast food, and being able to save that money. I'm 100% like half of what's helping me like quit these things is that I can segue that money into Pokemon
yeah,
cards, Magic cards, into my hobbies, and I can feel less guilty about it because it's like, hey, so I used to spend probably $100 to $150 a month on nicotine products. I used to spend, $100 a month, probably less on alcohol. I wasn't huge on alcohol, but like if you go out to a restaurant, you get 2 beers, you pay for your partner who has a couple of drinks, all of a sudden that's $40 worth of drinks between two people. Like that's insane. So
yeah,
being able to cut out those expenses, it's like, okay, all of a sudden I have an extra couple $100 a month instead of paying for nicotine and alcohol and fast food. Let me segue that into buying boxes of Magic the Gathering cards, which is 100% degenerate gambling.
yeah. Yeah, like, but again, like we say degenerate gambling, but like
Yeah,
it's just gambling,
it's
like
fun. If
all
you're enjoying
gambling to a
yourself, you
level
have
is
the money.
degenerate. Like we
Well,
don't.
it's like, okay, I feel like people say the same thing about weed, where like, okay, if you're smoking weed every single day and you're not doing anything with your life and you're, not showing up to work, or you're calling off and blah 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 blah, and you're not participating in society and you don't want to go out and see your friends, yeah, that's not a great situation for weed,
Yeah,
but that's not what weed is always for.
yeah,
Weed is also for, hey, we're getting together to play Dungeons and Dragons. Let's have some really fun Dungeons and Dragons and eat a pizza.
right, exactly. Like everything, nothing is
Moderation. Everything in
exactly
moderation.
everything in moderation. Too
Except
much of
magic.
anything becomes a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like that's just how it is, you know.
I feel like
You
that's good
discover new limits.
philosophy.
Yeah,
It's
I do
one of the
too.
people say that though, and especially like when I was younger and I heard things like that. Everything in moderation. Too much of a good thing is bad. It didn't like make sense. It doesn't get through your head almost like the actual impact of those words,
Yeah.
what that actually means. And I feel like that's something that's in the past couple of years definitely has made a lot more sense to me
It's
because it
just the
is,
difference between adult life and childhood, you know, like growing
yeah,
up, like it didn't matter how much you intook of like anything because like you were never really in charge of your day to day at that point. But now like that
yeah.
you are, it's like, oh, if I don't control how much I'm doing something, this could easily take over my entire life.
Yeah, and it's recognizing the impact of the things that you're doing as well. Like I am enjoying spending time doing this Magic the Gathering, making these videos. It is a little bit of a strain on my time. I have less time in my day to spend with my partner. I have less time in my week to spend, doting on my cats and going out and doing things. It's a trade-off. I'm spending my time doing something that I want to do. It's definitely a hobby. I have this goal and I've set this for myself, but it is a burden on me, my time, my partner, and the things around me. And it's recognizing that. Like I previously, when I was in my 20s, I don't think would notice that that was a burden, like that was a time constraint and that it was actively like impacting other things. I'd be more focused on how much fun I'm having and how much energy I'm putting into it. But now I'm looking at it and recognizing, okay, I need to go out of my way this weekend to spend time with my partner and make sure that they feel special so that I can continue to do this. And so I consciously go back on what's going on in my life, the impact of my actions and my hobbies and what I'm doing, my interests, and try to make sure it all balances. And I think that is 100% a 30 plus thing. Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. All right,
Oh,
I think we're kind of winding down here towards the end. I think we got what
yeah.
a couple minutes left, what 3 minutes left or so. Cody, is there
Yeah.
any other nerd things that you've been getting into that we haven't touched on too closely here? Any movies,
Um,
any shows, animes?
I was
Um,
gonna say the main thing, the only thing that we haven't touched on that I would want to touch on that comes to mind right now is I really enjoy reading. I'm a huge reading nerd, and I know you've been doing like audiobooks, but you're
yeah,
much more of like a watcher. I don't know if that's the right
yeah,
word, but I feel like
like
you do a lot of like videos. You watch a lot more anime than I have been able to recently. So like for me, I have been really enjoying The Wandering Inn. Wanderingin.com, I think, is the website. And you can read everything for free. It's available on Kindle Unlimited, but it's like the authors from Michigan published like 2.5 million words or something like that.
mm,
There's like 14, 16 books. Fantastic fantasy story. High fantasy, isekai. Love it.
gotcha. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of listening to books on tape, well, audiobooks recently.
Hmm.
Um, I don't need to plug the series that I've been reading because it's already one of the biggest book series like ever. I've been
I'm gonna say
reading
you're
the A
bringing
Song of
some.
Ice and Fire, Game of Thrones books. I'm about 40% of the way into book three right now. Me and Christian, like Chris was actually reading it, whereas I was listening to it. And for the first book, we were pretty neck and neck, but I don't even think he's finished the second book yet. He has before in the past, so I don't think that
Yeah.
matters. Um, but one thing I do want to plug that isn't the book itself is the app that I use to read it on. I use an app called Libby, Libby. It's a library app.
Yeah.
It allows you to apply at your local library for a digital library card. You don't have to go in, you don't have to do anything. You do it all right from your phone. It'll give it to you that same day, and then you can use it to check out either like actual like ebooks on the app, or you can check out audiobooks. That's where I've been getting my source of audiobooks from. Oh, Chris is 75% of the way through the second book. Um, uh, Another cool thing, if you do like the ebooks, if you wanted to read but you're like, I don't want to do it off my phone, I'm a Kindle reader or anything like that, you can actually link your Kindle account to it, and then you can
Mhm.
import over your Kindle book or your Libby books to your Kindle and read them right there off your Kindle. They do, because they're library books, you only have them for a certain amount of time. But a little trick that my mother taught me about the Libby app is if you transfer them over to your Kindle and then you disconnect your Kindle from the Wi-Fi, you'll have them forever. Or at least until you reconnect it to Wi-Fi.
That's actually insane. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But it's worth noting 100% support your local libraries, because the Libby app is literally a library program. It's created by libraries. Libraries are supported by your tax money. You pay taxes so that these libraries can exist. Go take advantage of it. They do. They offer free books. It is literally, you create an account, give them your information, and normally you have to do it. So for us here, we had to register at KDL, Kent District Library, because they're local. Sometimes you have to go in and prove, like, did you have to go in and prove with like a piece of mail that you lived in the area, or no?
Nope. I think my mom had to do that because she actually tried to use my brother's ID to get into like the LA district library, because like obviously that's going to be way better than like the Michigan library, like up here in the middle of nowhere in Michigan, like
And it is based on your library that you actually attend. So like your library card that you apply for is for your local area. You are supporting your local libraries with your local taxes. That's how that works. That's why support your local libraries. You're going to have more free audiobooks and more free books if you support them.
You just said the key word there. Chris said the key word down there. It's free. You know? You got to do it.
It's free, literally free knowledge. Go take advantage. Go check out your local library. That's, if anything, that should be our call to action. Go support your local libraries. That's the point of this Good Rep Media Live. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to everyone about all these nerdy topics. I mean, I think everyone at this point, if you've listened to this show at all, you know that Jordan and I are both very, very nerdy, very up to date on all the nerd topics out there.
And if you've listened to every other video we've done, you'd know that this is what we would have rather been doing the entire time, because that's what we segue into most of the time anyways.
I mean, I do enjoy talking about some of the small business stuff we do, because it is really cool. Like, I'm excited about my YouTube channel and making these Magic the Gathering videos, but they're not necessarily, I'm not out here trying to grow a following and get 1,000 subscribers so I can live stream and go full-time influencer. Our small businesses are out there full-time being small businesses, and that's sick. So I'm glad to help them.
And Cody, I know you like talking about small businesses, and I know you like talking to people about small businesses. So if anybody out there would ever like to talk to Cody about their small business, go ahead and follow this link right down here at the bottom of the screen, goodrep.media/chat. You can schedule yourself a free meeting with Cody where you can talk to him about really anything you want. If you don't want to talk to him about marketing, don't talk to him about marketing. Talk to him about Dungeons and Dragons. Talk to him about, I'm sorry, Cody, what did you say that series was you were reading again?
Wandering In. If you want to talk about the Wandering In, definitely schedule it up.
Talk to him. Yeah, he gets paid to do it.
100%. I do get paid to do that. Fun fact. So talking to clients is a big deal. You know, sorry. I have one last story. Everyone, we're done. End of the show. Cutting it off. But I have one last story about how I went to the bank last week, and I talked to one of the bankers for about an hour and 45 minutes about Dungeons and Dragons, just in his office. And I almost felt bad. I was like, you know what? I feel like I'm taking you away from your job. And he was like, you bank with us. You are my job. Please continue to sit here and talk to me about my hobbies, because if I make you happy here, that's my job. And I'm like, oh, this is phenomenal. So I'm just here shooting the shit with this banker. And he's like, please, this is exactly what I need. And so I love shooting the shit with my clients. I'm in the exact same boat. If you want to come talk about Dungeons and Dragons and you just so happen to have a small business, let's talk about some Dungeons and Dragons, and maybe I might have some advice for you.
Hey, maybe we could start up a small Dungeons and Dragons business.
Yeah, exactly. Well, does your Dungeons and Dragons business need a website? We're here for you.
Yeah, I'd love
but
that.
Hey.
I'd work overtime on that one.
we do that one off the clock.
I'm gonna end the live, guys. Have a great day. Thank you for everyone for coming out.
Been a pleasure, guys. See you next week.